Hi, it's Tony at Victor Litz Music. I'm going to show you 3 guitars today, as I always do. If you like the way we do the videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. But I'm finally finishing up the dozen, it's a dozen. This will be the final 3 out of 12 of some Ibanez acoustic-electric guitars. Again, if you like the way we do it, we'll bring you 3 guitars a day, show you our inventory at Victor Litz Music. And if you do like the way that's done, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the like button, make a comment. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I'm smart. Tell me whatever you want to tell me. Just comment, okay? But we've done that part of the store. That's a 150-foot long wall behind me, and that end of the store is all done. Any of those of interest, you can go back and see those videos. Anything you see in these videos, contact Victor Litz Music Center. We're open 7 days a week. We're closed a couple of times a year, otherwise 7 days a week, as in Labor Day coming, we will be closed, and then we're closed for Christmas and New Year's or Easter. That's about it. So in these 3 guitars I'm going to show you, the first here, acoustic-electric Ibanez guitar. They're calling it an open pour, and the open pour guitars that most of the people are doing, and or what Ibanez is doing, it's a satin finish, like they didn't put a big high gloss finish on it. Yet this one being a solid top and open pour and a little bit upgrade, it's a dark brown open pour finish. This feels like a polished open pour. Not quite a high gloss, but it's certainly polished to a real fine, smooth finish. First thing I noticed on this was interesting. This, when I picked it up a few minutes ago, this bridge, that's the bridge, that's a bridge saddle, but the way they've put these cutouts underneath the strings is for less mass on the bridge, which should improve the sound and or the volume. So the less mass you can get in an instrument on the bridge saddle, any of these things, it's going to produce a bigger, louder sound. So perhaps that's what they're doing there on this. You can see the satin finish. It's a brown finish. It's really neat. It's got a binding, looks to be a wood binding with the white purfling inlay, okay? A nice inlay in the fingerboard. Face plate to the headstock. It's not just the natural wood, but they put a laminate face plate. Binding on the sides of the neck and up and around the headstock with the white trim. Fancy Ibanez italic logo, or then this arch across the top. Tuning gear is a decent gear. Again, it's a solid top guitar. What's solid top mean? Let's talk about that. There is mahogany back inside brown. This is the top of the guitar. These are the sides of the guitar. This is the back of the guitar. A solid top guitar means it's a real piece of wood, not laminate wood. So laminated woods don't really change with age, so they say. That can be argued. But a solid top, as this gets older, it dries out, the molecules are going to vibrate more, and the instrument's going to sound better, technically, theoretically, over time. So if you get a 50-year-old solid top Martin guitar, Gibson guitar, acoustic guitars, it's going to sound that much better with age. And they really say that it sounds better with age and having been played a long time. The more it can vibrate, the more it opens up. People will call that the guitar opens up. The sound really opened up. I've heard that with pianos and a number of other acoustic instruments. That was the first one. Second one out of this batch, it's the 11th out of 12 Ibanez acoustic-electrics that we're doing. And is this a duplicate of that? And it might very well be. I'm just going to double check, see if it's the same model number. Sure is. We do actually have a duplicate. I've done this one before. It is the red Sunburst transparent acoustic-electric guitar. Electronics are here. Built-in tuner. Sunburst finish. Just a plain Jane black headstock. The back of the neck is done in a sunburst finish, but I've already reviewed one of these. And I'm happy to say we're down to the 12th and final Ibanez acoustic-electric on this side of the rack, because I'm tired of doing acoustic-electric guitars by Ibanez. They're wonderful. We sell a ton of them. They're great. I'm just tired of talking about these. Let's talk about something cooler. But here is a green finish to me. That's green. Dark green sunset fade. Drum sets, you know what a sunburst finish is. theoretically. Most of these things and Stratocasters, everything else are sunburst. But drum sets went into kind of the sunburst finish, but they called it a fade finish, where it went from one color to another color. So Ibanez has picked up on that terminology to call this a green sunset fade. I get it. This is a thin line acoustic electric guitar with a dark green sunset fade. You can see the finish, but talk about the guitar, super thin instrument, okay, acoustic electric, flame top. Chances are that's not a solid top. It's probably a laminate top. We just talked about solid tops, but they went and put a laminate of a real nice flame maple finish to it or some other piece of wood. Electronics are in it. Binding on the back and top and trim. Satin finish feel to the neck and this sharp cutaway. So we're going to look at this. Nice wood grain. Black tuning gear. Okay, matching headstock to the finish. Neat Ibanez big logo and headstock. And let's roll this around and show you the finish on it a little bit. You can really get to see it. And this is pretty much what I'll do on all these videos, is to bring the guitar up close so you can really see it. You can't be here in person. You can at least get an idea what they look like on camera. All right. A couple things I mentioned about the previous guitar and then moving over to this guitar. When you see an acoustic electric guitar that's got a bridge on it like this and a couple of dots, well, they've bolted this to the face of the instrument. This is an acoustic electric. It's a thin body, so they weren't really going after the straight acoustic tone. Bolting this bridge to the plate, to the top of the guitar is going to help mute the sound. It's going to make it so it vibrates less. And it can be argued that that doesn't sound as good. But by the time you plug this into an amplifier and turn the volume up and it's got a battery activated, active electronics, you can get all the volume out of it that you want. But this isn't the ideal thing to do on an acoustic guitar that you're trying to get the best acoustic sound. That other Ibanez I showed you, whereby they've taken some of the mass of the bridge away, it absolutely was not a bolt-on instrument. And if you believe me, great, you get it. If you don't, take your guitar one day and strum it, set it on a tabletop, strum the guitar just open, and then take a heavy object and sit it on, don't scratch your guitar or do anything silly, but even something as heavy as light as, but as heavy as just a big heavy screwdriver, just barely touching the end of this to it, or the face of a hammer and just sitting it there and holding onto the hammer so it doesn't scratch anything, strum the guitar and you go, whoa, that mutes the tone probably by 33%. So you don't want to bolt a bunch of mass to an instrument if you're after the best acoustics out of it that you can get. That's where binding, not binding whatsoever, but a solid top guitar, laminate top guitar with the bracing, not binding. And then they get into this, what's called scalloped bracing. If you want to make the top really thin so it vibrates great, and then you want to put bracing in that's as light as it can, but it's got to be as working and doing its job as good as it can so that the top doesn't fall apart. So you're putting bracing in the instrument. Now you've got a real thin top, sounds great. You put some bracing in, that starts to mute the sound. Hey, what's next? Let's scallop the bracing. You've heard of scallop bracing on acoustic guitars, and that's why they do that. And it's going to give you the best acoustics that you can get, but it's still got to be structurally sound so it doesn't fall apart. And lots of guitars, 12 strings specifically, the tops will begin to cave in because it can't handle the tension. So on this guitar, they just went and said, let's bolt it on. And you'll see many a guitar. I don't know that Martin's ever done it, but I've seen Gibsons and 100 other brands that have a bolt-on bridge to the top of the instrument. And when you see those, that's what those two dots are, is there's a nut and a bolt. Literally the bolts go through this way and the nut in the back underneath is, if you go to change the bridge or do any real work for it, you've got to take that nut and bolt apart to get the bridge off the instrument, to re-glue the bridge and so on. But that's it. That's what we know about acoustic electric guitars, at least on these three, and some of the things that do apply to many other guitars out there in the world. We are Victor Litz Music Center in Gaithersburg, Maryland. We appreciate you checking the video out. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like it, comment on it. Maybe you're an expert on it and you've got some advice for people on what to look for and not look for. But anything we can do for you here at Victor Litz Music Center, we're here 7 days a week. It's all family. We appreciate you checking it out. We buy, sell, trade. We'll pay you money for your one item at a time or an entire collection of guitars, including vintage. We buy, sell, trade. We're an authorized dealer for all these brands new, which is a great advantage over the places that just do used. So you can trade in your used gear for new gear. We will buy out anybody's collection up to $250,000, let's say. We've got the money. We would love to buy your collection. We're going to buy it wholesale. We're going to buy it for resale. Perhaps you need the money. Perhaps you've collected them all these years and it's time to move and cash in. Let's do it. We will buy them from you. Most of our inventory we're going to show on Reverb. We put some of it on the website, but we do not concentrate on the website. You can call us 7 days a week to check availability. Our website does not track the inventory. We'll put it on there and forget about it, and it'll be there for 4 or 5 years, and then somebody will call and say, is it there? Going, no. Well, why is it on the website? Because we put it on the website 5 years ago, and we never took it off. We're not really tracking the inventory over there, as well as in the background, my brain is thinking, if it's on the website from a long time ago and it says call for availability, maybe the Google search engines will take you to our store or someone else's store that doesn't have the budget to pay all the Google search engine results for billions of dollars just to get you to come see our website. Maybe you'll stumble upon our website one day because you searched it and you found one at a yard sale. You're wondering what it is, and we happen to have had one years ago. So, but we do try to say, contact us for availability on all this stuff. We're not tracking the inventory on there. Enough for that. We are Victor Litz Music Center. We buy, sell, trade, lessons, rentals, repairs. We're here 7 days a week, and come in. Free advice, free minor adjustments done on your instruments while you wait. Again, the free advice is to problem solve. Okay, here's what's going on with your instrument, and here's the quick fix. Somebody came in the other day and said, will you fix my guitar case? And yeah, we're going to be $100 because we're going to be into it for at least an hour to replace the handle and glue it all back together. I was able to take in 3 minutes, pull up Amazon, show them what handle to go buy, go home and fix your guitar case by yourself. It's an $8 part from Amazon, and that'll fix the case. And he was thrilled with us, and that was cool. And it's all good. And hopefully he'll be a customer for life because we didn't need to take his $100. If he wants us to do it, it's going to take us an hour. We charge $100 an hour. But for $8, he's able to go to Amazon, get the part that he needs, and do it himself, short of gluing it all back together. His case was falling apart, but it was a vintage Gretsch guitar case. So that's Tony Litz here at Victor Litz Music Center, open 7 days a week. Please come visit Victor Litz Music if you're ever in the Washington area. We thank you for checking it out, and have a great day. Take care.